everyone, it's Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to make this cute and easy country star ornament. Now I've chosen to make it out of cotton for this one. I added a wooden button and some country ribbon. On this one I used a white speckled yarn that I had on hand that's in acrylic. I added a cute little green package button and some sparkly gold ribbon. So you can make these in lots of different colors, and it's also a great way to use up some of your leftover yarns, whether they're cotton or acrylic. Now it measures about 5 inches across, and it's the perfect size Christmas tree ornament, but also they're great for just decorating around your house during the holiday season. Now you can find this crochet pattern on my blog, and as always I'll put that link down in the notes underneath this video. For today's demonstration I'm going to be using sugar and cream stripes, which is what this one is made out of. Of course that's 100% cotton, and the name is called Holiday Stripes. It is a striping yarn. But you don't have to use a striping yarn. You can do them whatever colors that you want to. And remember, you can use any medium weight number 4 yarn as well. This one is acrylic and this one is cotton. I have a 3/8 inch button here, and I chose some buttons that don't actually have button holes in them that my needle can go through. I wanted it to have a really country feel. And so I'm going to be gluing my button on with this E6000 like I did this one. This one I sewed on because it had the little thing in the back that I could sew on. So either way is fine. The main thing is if you want to sew your button on, make sure your needle can get through those eye holes. We're also going to be using a 3/8 inch ribbon. And I found this country checked ribbon at my local craft store. All of your craft stores and even your department stores have all their Christmas out, and if not, you can go over just into their ribbon section and find some really nice ribbon, whether you want to go country or sparkly. This one here has the wire in the edges, and I really like that. This one doesn't, but both work just fine. And you're going to need about a 12-inch piece of ribbon, just enough to make the hanger for your star. We're going to be stitching with our H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. And then, of course, you'll need a needle to weave in those ends. And don't forget, you'll need your scissors. Remember, we're going to have to cut our ribbon so it looks pretty. We're going to begin with our slip knot, and we're going to chain 5 chains. We're going to join this chain 5 into a circle. So we'll take the tail of yarn, put it over our hook, and pull it through that loop, and then just snug that down. Now we'll tie a little stay knot. That'll keep our loop from coming undone. All right, now we'll put our hook in, pull up a loop, and chain 3. Double crochet in this chain 5 loop. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, and go through the second 2 loops. We'll stitch another double crochet and then chain 2. Now we're going to stitch 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and chain 2. Now we have 2 groups of 3 double crochets, and we need to repeat what we just did with the 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 more times. So we have 5 groups of 3 double crochet, chain 2. Whoops, got a little splitty there. There we go. So here's 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, so there's 4, and we need to do one more set of 3 double crochets. Goodness, this yarn is just a little bit splitty. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2. Now we're going to join to our chain 3. Then we'll slip stitch to the chain 1 or the chain 2 space. And so we'll slip stitch in those 2 double crochets. Then we'll slip stitch in that chain 2 space and chain 3. And so you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 3 double crochets, chain 2 for row 1. For row 2, our chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. And we're going to stitch 2 more double crochets in this chain 2 space. 1 and 2. Now we're going to chain 2. We're going to stitch 3 more double crochets in this same chain 2 space. 1, 2, and 3. This time we're going to chain 1. Now we'll move to our next chain 2 space and we'll stitch 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. We'll chain 2 and stitch 3 more double crochets in the chain 2 space. And chain 1. And then we'll repeat this on these next 3 chain 2 spaces. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and chain 1. And again, we're going to repeat that on those last 2 chain 2 spaces. I've repeated those 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1 in those last 2 chain 2 spaces. Here's my last, my chain 1. I'm going to join to the top of that chain 3, and then I'm going to slip stitch in those 2 double crochets, and then slip stitch in the chain 1 space and chain 3. Now it just looks like a pentagon now. This last row is what gives the star its shape. Our chain 3 counts as a double crochet. We're going to double crochet 2 more times. We're going to chain 1 and then 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet in that chain 1 space and then chain 1. This brings us to our next chain 2 space. And so we're going to stitch 3 double crochets in that next chain 2 space. Chain 1, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, single crochet in that chain 1 space, and chain 1. And see how it's starting to form the shape of our star? All right, let's do the next one. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, there's my 3 double crochets, chain 1, single crochet in that next chain 1 space, and chain 1. So now I have 3 points to my star, and we'll repeat this in these last 2 points. So I have completed all 5 of my points. 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, and chain 1. Now we're going to join to the chain 3. We'll cut our yarn. We'll go in that next stitch and pull that loop to the back and tie off. Now we do need to weave in this end, and we'll do that with our needle. We'll give that a little bit of a pull to close up that hole. And we'll just weave that in, going back and forth, and make sure it's going to stay put. Now we'll just pull that through, nice and snug, and cut that. Then we'll go ahead and weave in the green one. Now it's time to add our ribbon and our button if we want to. Now you can use a piece of the yarn if you want to make a hanger with the yarn that matches. I just really love the look of the country ribbon with this yarn. And I also love about this yarn is that you never know how the colors are going to land. And you can decide where you want the top of your star to be. I think I kind of want mine to be on this one. I like that it has some of the different colors around. All right, let's add the ribbon. Super simple. You're just going to go through that chain 1 space at the top that you've decided where your top of your ornament is going to be. And you're going to need to cut about, I use about a 12-inch piece of yarn, or I mean piece of ribbon, but you can use a piece of yarn also. That way I have enough to tie a nice knot, and I like to do this type of knot. I make the loop and then I just push the ends through and snug that down. Then I'll take my 2 ends and kind of open them, and I'll cut them at an angle. All right, now the last thing we need to do is add a button. If you're going to sew your button on, that's totally fine. I chose some wooden buttons that it's very difficult to get a needle through. And so I'm going to use my E6000. Since this is going to be a ornament, not something that's going to go through the laundry, I'm going to put a little bit of this on the back, and I want to make sure it gets spread around real good. Nice and tacky there. And I'm just going to put it right there. I want the buttonholes to be facing sideways. And I really like using this. You can also use hot glue if you want to, as long as it's not going to go outside where it's cold in the elements. And see how easy that is to make this beautiful country star ornament.